I've got an in-balance Pilates signature Sculpt class with an upper body focus. So we always start class with footwork. In Sculpt class, I love to add the ball between the inner thighs because that's just going to fire into the adductors. And then I'm going to start with the heels on, parallel, and a bicep curl. As I start to press out, you want to layer in all of the nutshell concepts. So cueing about and talking about the breath, the pelvis, neutral spine, abdominals, shoulder placement, fully lengthening all the way, flexing the toes back towards the nose. You want to layer in all of those foundational movements. Now for Sculpt class, I'm just going to skip the pulses and we're going to do a compound movement. We're going to go right into bridge. So I'm going to superset footwork because I have an upper body focus and I don't have a whole lot of time. So we went from a quad focus to that glute hamstring focus, and then we go right onto the arches and moving into elbow taps next. So again, full range of motion for your quad focus, and the ball is also providing some alignment for the legs, staying in a parallel. And then we're going right into that hip hinge once again, staying on the arches because bridging on different points of the feet is just makes it a little bit different, right? So we're being very efficient with our footwork. We continue to move down to the toes, skull crushers. And then again, just focus on more alignment types of cues, even balance through the feet, full extension, slowly closing the carriage back into the stoppers, stretching the spring out, closing it in. We're going to superset our footwork once again here. This time we're up on the toes, so adds a different element of challenge, but always give the option, if somebody wants to go back to the arches or the heels, whatever their preference is. And then I'm going to ditch the ball. We're going to take heels wide, move into our chest press. Again, this is still a superset, so we're going into that leg press, which is going to mainly be a quad focus. Tapping the weights over the chest, closing the spring back in. And then after this round, I'm doing a superset. Again, I'm going to lift to bridge this time and do that press out and in. You can continue to go with the arms and the chest press since this is going to be an upper body focus. Or you could always give the option to put the weights on the hips. And then dropping down to the toes, hug a tree, last round for footwork. Always love doing footwork in this order because you hit all the different points of the feet. You get heels, arches, toes. You get a wide turnout. You're working the upper body. Just getting clients in the studio laying down, taking their shoes off is going to calm their nervous system down. Having this ritual, this first thing we do when we come into imbalance is just like a signature that clients come to know and love. And then like how I'm doing here with Sculpt class, adding in some different variations to kind of spice it up a little bit. Of course, we end footwork with our tendon stretch or calf raises, adding in that hammer curl. You want to cue full range of motion through the ankle joint so the heels go all the way down, all the way up. And then after the calf raises, always going into our prance or alternating, one heel down, bending the other knee up and switching. You can layer in an alternating arm movement, and you can always suggest that the clients just keep the arms down by the side as well. And then of course, after footwork, we always want to end with that foot massage. It feels so good just to walk up and down the whole foot, working out any tension or tight spots in the feet. And then calf massage, so reaching the legs over the foot bar, rolling out the calves, up and down, side to side, pausing on any knots here. Now after footwork, I go into about 15 seconds of roll-ups. Now every set for footwork was 30 seconds. I always start after clients have done a couple of rounds, then start your timer. Just 15 seconds of roll-ups. I might spend a little longer in a flow class on roll-ups. And then I'm specific about coming off to the right side of the reformer, setting the weights down on the right side. And then we're switching to one red spring pretty much for the whole rest of class. Now, Oh, I'm going to adjust my camera real quick, so hang on. I'm not going to edit the video for this, but yeah, for Sculpt class, you want to get clients off of their back almost immediately, and you want to get them standing upright because that's how you're going to get the heart going and the heart pumping, a little bit of cardio. So we're going into flying planks. Gotta get my foot adjusted right. I've got that red on for the sake of the flow. And we're starting with our flamingos. We do 30 seconds of this. 30 seconds is just super easy to time in a group class setting because, you know, it gives clients enough time to do about 8 to 12 reps. So 30 seconds of flamingo, 30 seconds of that arabesque or leg sweep back, landing toe ball heel, landing in the lunge position each and every time. Now I'm making this first little cluster into a pyramid. So after flying planks, I climb on top of the reformer, 4-point kneeling, knees to the edge, and we're going to do some little jumps off of the foot bar because this is an upper body focus, and I want to start to get that push part of the upper body in. This is going to work the chest. Again, get the heart rate up a tiny bit. Always love to add in a little bit of classical Pilates. So our down stretch here is going to add some extension in. It's going to stretch the core. It's a lat pull, or, you know, you push out, you pull in. You're working both directions. And then on the last one, you're going to hold it out and just find like a neutral spine so that you can take the clients into more of like a chaturanga push-up. So bend your elbows, keep them narrow to the body, bring your chest all the way down toward that foot bar, and then you press back out. Now this is like a push in and out. So you stretch the spring, you close the spring versus like up and down. So you should really see the elbows bending here. After you've done your 30 seconds in the middle, take your child's pose, quick recovery, roll out the wrists. I know clients are going to be complaining, you know, or probably about the wrist, but step off to the other side, and then we're going into flying planks here. So pyramid, right? You do something on the right side, do something in the middle, you go to the left side. Flamingos first, tuck the knee in, round the spine. This one's going to start to warm up the core, the upper body, little cardio. Best we can do in the Pilates studio to get the heart rate up. And then you're going to go right into your leg sweeps back, and then sweep the foot forward, land in the lunge each and every time. You want to make sure that the floor is clear, so that's why I push the ball out of the way. The weights are on the other side for when we go back to that other side. I need to get some water because I'm only doing 5 reps of everything, but I'm feeling it, y'all. Yep. Sculpt class should be intense. I didn't do any wiggling. I didn't do any windshield wipers. Just keep moving. Now we're still on the red spring, right? We're going to sit and kind of reset a little bit, decompress the wrists, chest expansion, choke up on the ropes to make it heavier, grab the long straps to make it lighter. Chest expansion, you're supposed to open the chest, squeeze the shoulders, find some extension through the spine. And then I take them right into a reverse fly next. So open and close the arms. Watch the wrists on this one. But we're only going to do 3 arm movements here before we continue to move on. This is a pull exercise because you're pulling your arms closer to your body. This one's going to target mid-upper back, and then front raise, shoulder focus. And all of these, the arms are staying straight. 30 seconds for everything, okay? After you do that last one, you'll hang up the straps. It's kind of coming up here in a second. Hang up the straps, and then I gave everybody a quick little pec stretch and a chest opener here. Turn the head right, left, nod yes and no. And then immediately straddle the reformer, hands on those shoulder blocks. We're going into a push exercise. So you're going to stand up, squat, hover, start to push out, and then give the option to add that toss. This is another opportunity to get the heart rate up. And then we go into single arm, staying on the red. Yep, left hand's behind the back. Option to throw. It gets a little heavier, but they can do it. Switch side after 30 seconds. Keep going. We're not sitting down. We're going to stay standing up the whole time. So after that, I'm like, we're going to stretch it out a little bit. But it's Sculpt class, so we have to make the stretches a little more challenging. Couple seconds of cat-cows. Hands are going to be on those shoulder blocks, though. And we're going to prepare for a plank. So I'm going to step my feet to the platform first and then to the foot bar. So it's our control back. And then step 1 foot forward. So we find that lunge. It's going to be dynamic. So press the leg out to front splits. Bend it back into lunge. Hands stay down. So it is a stretch, okay? We're not doing like Russian splits or anything here. To transition, we step back to a plank. You can always give the option to bring the hands down or, again, feet to platform. Stretch the hamstring. Bend it back in. Everything is 30 seconds. So we take our time, come back to our breath, step back to that foot bar, and then a little long spine or shoulder hinge. You're going to press the arms out and in. Again, it is a shoulder focus. And I'm in a straighter plank alignment, so it's going to be more upper body. Now, after that, roll out the wrists, step off, and we're going to bring the nervous system back down for a second. We've been going hard on the upper body. We're going to lay down. That's why we have the ball for the pillow and do some side foot and strap, okay? Not on the elbow, because when you're propped up on the arm, it's still working shoulders. We've just been torching everyone's shoulders. So we want to relax the neck, relax the shoulders, have them lay down. The nervous system's going to calm down again. Everyone's going to be happy with a foot and strap. Okay, go up and down. It's going to work mobility and adductors because the emphasis is on pressing the leg down. And then we go into our bend and press. This is going to be kind of like, a little squat variation here. Just keep the foot right at foot bar height. And then after that, you're going into your leg sweeps. You need to grab a sip of water. So sweeping forward and back, 30 seconds for everything. Start when the last person gets in. You don't want to start the timer right when the first person gets in. Okay, everybody can do a couple of rounds, but like a couple of reps before you start your timer. Hang up the strap, flip over. Don't laugh at me while I try to flip over. But, we could do something in the middle, but I want to try to get back to upper body as quick as possible. So I'm just going to flip them over. We're going to do it again. We're staying on a red. Clients in a Sculpt class should know how to modify. So if they need to go to a blue, they can switch that. I didn't really give the option, or they can go into the little strap to make it heavier, more range of motion. Now we go up and down with the leg, a little bit of a turnout so you get more range of motion. If the hip's moving, that's fine. I'm not super worried about it. Keep the hips mostly squared forward. And then you do your bend and press. And eventually we'll get to that leg sweep. Everybody's going to be pretty happy with, a foot in the strap. We're working your butt. Upper body gets a rest, but don't worry. We're going back to the upper body here in just a second. So after that, I'm going to hang up the strap. Here it is. Tuck the ball away. No figure four. We're just going to keep moving. We're going to stretch at the end of class, okay? So, still staying on that red spring. Come around. Oh, sip of water. Very thirsty. Come around to the back well. Step into the back well. We're doing a pull exercise again. So you have to find that sweet spot. Pull the elbows back. Squeeze the shoulders. Release the arms forward. You're in an extended spine, not a rounded spine here. You go to a single arm, lat pull. Feel the shoulder blades gliding down the back. And you do 30 seconds on each side. Switching sides. Pull back, reach forward. Always resisting the springs. Sometimes clients start to rush through this. So I want to remind them to slow down. We got to get another plank in right here, right? So hands on the shoulder blocks, feet to the platform. We're going to do like a pyramid, down dog to plank, ripple forward all the way to like up dog extension. Tuck the chin, scoop the belly, pike the hips up, down dog. Ooh, my articulation looks pretty good today. all the way to that up dog. So down dog to up dog, or like a cobra in yoga. 30 seconds for that, and then 30 seconds for some mountain climbers. Option to add a twist. That's going to work the obliques just a little bit more. Take another stretch, decompress the wrists, and then we're stepping out to the right side because that's where we put our weights, or at least that's where I ask the clients to set their weights at the beginning. And we're going into a full body. Lunges, staying on the red. As you lunge down, reach the weights down, come up overhead press. So we're still working the upper body here. I prefer the hinge forward because that's going to target the glutes. Stretch the spring out as much as you can, and then come all the way in. We're skipping any kind of pulses or whatever, going right to curtsy lunge. So it's a crossover. It's going to work the outer part of the hip a little more. And the arm movement is the same here, okay? So getting in the reps, overhead press, reach down, come up, overhead. After that curtsy lunge, I set one weight on the platform so that I can do some kettlebell swings. Now, it's a dumbbell swing, right? But this is the gym vibes. This is like the Sculpt class vibes. So, kettlebell swing, look that one up. It's a hinge movement, okay? Now, grab your weights, go around to the other side, lather, rinse, repeat. We're not going to get too fancy or creative. In a group class, like, if you add too much choreography, it gets confusing. And, like, some of these compound movements are just how you're going to build strength, muscle, and, like, actually see changes and results in clients' bodies. So you don't have to do all these fancy, like, circus Pilates things. Keep it consistent. Like, the lunges and curtsies you can do every week. Add a different arm movement in. I mean, at the bottom, you can do a low row or reverse fly. But also, think about when you go to the gym, you're going to do like 3 to 4 sets of overhead press. So we're doing 4 sets of our overhead press right here. Not a big deal. And then we're going to do that kettlebell swing one more time. Dumbbell swing, right? Keep the dumbbell close to your body. The dumbbell should not be going down to the floor. You want to hinge forward. Stick your butt back. Yeah, a lot of clients doing Pilates probably aren't very familiar with the kettlebell swing, so it's something new as well. Okay, to finish class, we're doing hands in straps and feet in straps. So I think I put on 2 reds here because I could do both. 2 reds and a yellow for heavy. Yes, do that for hands in straps too. I'm only going to do like 3 sets though because I'm running out of time, and I want to get the upper body one more time. And I want to lay everybody down because, you know, nervous system. Lay them back down. Add in that classic Pilates. And I usually tell them, if you know your progressions, go right into it. We did lat pull. We're going tricep press next. I'm just, you know, moving, but keeping the head down. And then T-press. Add the crunch, add the leg reach. It's whole body. So it's core, it's lats, it's everything. That's Pilates, it's whole body. Right after we do hands in straps, 30 seconds of each, we're going to feet in straps. Now, 30 seconds of everything, depending on what you have for time, right? We're going to go up and down. You can do your internal, your external rotation. You guys know all of the variations for feet in straps. For feet in straps, I like the imprint, the flat back better because you're in an open kinetic chain. Like, the straps are not a stable surface. The foot bar and the ground are stable. The straps are a little more dynamic. We do little frogs, in and out. Again, just keep the back flat. That'll help to stabilize your spine and pelvis the most. Keep the arms relaxed. And then sumo frogs. I'm calling these sumo frogs. It's like a sumo squat, basically. Bend and press. It requires a little more control. Of course, we got to get those leg circles in. If you don't do leg circles, there will be a riot at the end of class, okay? Get the leg circles in. I love leg circles so much. You want to go both ways, 30 seconds each. If you go a little longer than 30 seconds, nobody's going to complain, I promise you. So it's all good if you go extra long. And then Peter Pan, of course, bend a knee in, reach a leg out, low back, hips, stay centered and stable. The best you can. After you've done a little of that, usually in a sculpt class, I really appreciate when there's some short spine in there. So add some short spine, whatever variation you want, there's so many different ways to like kind of refine and add variations to short spine, but it feels so good. Such a good massage on the back. Final stretches, hamstring stretch. I always like to bend one knee, straighten the other leg, hold it for an inhale and an exhale, and then open straddle stretch. I usually start these when there's like 2 or 3 minutes left of class. And then happy baby, of course. Also, clients will love you if you do a Z stretch. That's going to stretch your hip flexor and your quad. That's the front of the hip and the thigh. And then you can add the inner thigh and outer thigh stretch to that. And then swap it out, other leg. You want to prioritize the foot that's going down though, because that's the money right there, stretching the front of the thigh. And then, of course, ending with a butterfly. Soles of the feet together, knees wide, bring it down. I like this extra pec stretch where I reach back and grab the frame. It just feels so good to open up the chest. Give everybody like a solid 30, 45 seconds here. Just don't talk. Just let them breathe. And then, of course, we're going to come out of it eventually. I don't think I ever wanted to come out of it. Hang up the straps, find the foot bar. And yeah, solid sculpt class. Time everything for 30 seconds. That should be a perfect 50 minutes.